Yeah, good morning students. In this video, I will be discussing on what is circuit switch networks. So before watching this video, I recommend you to watch my previous video on message switch networks. So the video link for message switch network is available in the description box. So in this video, we will see what is circuit switch networks. So circuit switch networks operates in the physical layer. Okay. In the OSI model, the circuit switch networks will function in the bottom layer, that is physical layer, whereas message switching we have seen it functions in the application layer. In circuit switch network, the resources need to be reserved during the setup phase. Normally, in circuit switch we have three phases. Here you can see, that is connection setup, data transfer, and connection tear down. So what is this? So before the data transmission takes place between two systems, system 1 and system 2, so first a connection needs to be established. So that is what we call it as connection phase. Once the connection has been established, then the normal data transmission will take place between sender 1 to sender 2 and sender 2 to sender 1, or station 1 to station 2 and station 2 to station 1. Once the data transmission has been completed, then it is mandatory that one of the system need to close the connection. That is what we call it as connection tear down. So these are the three phases normally happens in the circuit switch networks. So that's what here in circuit switch network I am telling, the resources need to be reserved during the setup phase. So very important, as I told you, once the connection has been established between the two systems, then all the resources like bandwidth or data rate or delay, whatever it may be, is completely reserved for these two systems for lifetime. In case once the data transmission is completed, and if any one of the system is not tear down the connection, then those resources will simply wasted. So that's what I am telling, in circuit switch network, once the data transmission is completed, one of the station need to close the connection. Means we are releasing the resources. If you don't close the connection, then those resources will be reserved for those two systems for lifetime. So there is no addressing mechanism involved during data transfer because it is a connection oriented. You need not to have the address for each and every what you call that message. Whereas in case of message switching, since we don't have fixed path, every header contain the source and destination address for every message. So that is not needed here because all the data is moving in the same direction. Because of that, there is no problem with addressing. But one point you should note down here, circuit switch network are not as efficient as other two types of networks because uh, that's what when compared to message switching and packet switching, the circuit switching is not that much efficient because most of the uh, time is wasted for connection establishment, tear down, and also if the resources are not released, then those resources are reserved for lifetime. So there are some problems are there. So that's what it is not that much efficient. Okay. So as I told, these are three phases, and here you can see station A is sending data to station C. So first the connection has been established in this direction. Then data transmission has taken place. Once all the data has been completed, then the connection can be closed. You can see here from A to C, there is some dark dashed lines, that is the path. And if you see from A to, sorry, D to D, here it is B, I think. From B to D, this is the path, dotted line, this is the direction. So this path from A to C is reserved so that no other station can access this because it is private, it is leased. Similarly, the path between B to D is reserved. That's what I am telling. These paths are reserved only for those specific nodes. Once the data transmission has been completed, then those paths should be removed or the resources should be released. The connection should be teared down. Otherwise, those connections is reserved unwantedly. Okay, that's what the connection breakdown is must. So here I have written the last point. The connection tear down is must. Uh, so the delay we have seen in case of message switching, the delay is 3 tau plus 3t and plus additional delay we have calculated. So that's what I request you. First you watch the video on message switching. Whereas in case of circuit switching, the delay is very simple. It is very minimal. So the total delay is nothing but time needed to create the connection. That is what. From A to B, what is the time taken to get the connection? For data transfer, so this time, the time taken to complete the data transmission, and lastly, to disconnect the circuit means to close the connection. So this is the overall delay. There is no waiting time in every switch because here the data is flows in a continuous stream. That's what I have written here. There is no waiting time at each switch. Okay. So hope so you understood this delay. It is very simple. Time taken to establish the connection, to transfer the data, and to close the connection. Okay. So where exactly we are using this circuit switching? Normally in public telephone networks, PSTN, private branch exchanges, private wide area networks, and also in data switching whenever you are transferring data via switch. So these are all few applications. So the overall conclusion is in circuit switching, there is no addressing mechanism. Before transmitting the data, a connection needs to be established. So there are three phases as I told. There should be a connection establishment, then data transmission, and lastly the connection breakdown or closing the connection. So if you don't close the connection, then those resources are reserved for lifetime, because here the path established between sender and receiver or station 1 and station 2 are reserved the resources for lifetime. So once the data transmission is completed, one of the nodes should be uh, close the connection. Then those resources can be allocated to some other nodes. So hope so you understood. Thanks for watching and subscribe for more videos. Bye.